Lion's Den Survival Principles for Media Professionals and Everyone Else by Dr. Larry W. Polland. Read by Dan Sheedy. Dedication. To Frank J. Polland, my dearly loved father, whose godly wisdom stood him in good stead for 96 years, and me for 69, until he departed for a far better place, July 16th, 2008. Introduction. Living life successfully isn't easy or difficult. It is impossible. There is one part of this fact that God utilizes. We are such arrogant creatures that if living successfully were at any level achievable through human effort, we'd pound our chests and boast of our success. I know this is true because that is exactly what we do so long as life goes well for us. But it is in our struggles, conflicts, and adversity that we often fulfill God's plan for our lives, turning to Him for help, and in the process, building a deep and intimate relationship with the Maker we typically ignore while things are going well. It is when we get painted into a corner that the only way out is up. No human being understood this dynamic more than the Hebrew prophet Daniel. Captured and taken as a slave with some of his teenaged friends to Nebuchadnezzar's Babylon, life was not pleasant. In that great city of the ancient world, Daniel faced a ruthless regime hostile to his people and his faith. But in non-negotiable reliance on the God of Abraham, the true and living God, he conquered his circumstances, survived 3 regime changes, and was still serving Jehovah in his 80s. Lesser men succumbed to their captors and their pagan ways. Daniel created a legacy that is proverbial the world around. Betrayed by his jealous peers in the kingdom in which he served as vizier or prime minister, Daniel ended up on death row. Daniel in the Lion's Den is a story of divine deliverance that thrills the most blasé and challenges the faithless to explore the one who shut the lions' mouths. Lion's Den. There are many environments in contemporary life which are hostile to people of deep faith, especially the biblical Christian faith. Often mocked in the culture, ridiculed in the workplace, lampooned and slandered in TV sitcoms, portrayed in damning ways in films, and hated and slaughtered by jihadists, devout followers of Jesus Christ are increasingly marginalized by society. This is not new. Ask any Jewish person who has been or is now the object of scorn, violence, and even plots for torture or annihilation. Daniel is one of millions of Jews over the centuries who understands being thrown to the lions as the result of an evil conspiracy. Interesting, isn't it, that believers in Jehovah, both Christians and Jews, get such treatment? Survival principles. There is a way to survive in hostile, even life-threatening situations. In this book we learn from the masters. Babylonian culture was so contemptuous of the faith of Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah that their masters forced them to give up their names that honored Jehovah and take names honoring pagan deities, Belteshazzar, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Then the whip, the scimitar, the fiery furnace, or the lion's den awaited, upon any evidence of religious nonconformity. But in violation of conventional wisdom from the culture, these brave men staked their faith in the deliverance of their God, if not deliverance here and now, in the life hereafter. Either way, they survived. For media professionals. One of America's most hostile environments for unflinching followers of Jesus Christ is the entertainment industry. Having served since 1980 in this industry in both Hollywood and New York, I can tell you honestly that the people who run entertainment are often bitter enemies of the Christian faith and of Christians, especially evangelicals. Jesus Christ is a commonly used expletive. This book's content was originally written for the Christian faithful working in media. It was a column in a publication by Master Media International named The Median. It was well received. A major market news anchor whom I had never before met told me how the column had sustained her in her faith for years during some tempestuous times in her personal life and career. And everyone else. When believers outside of media began writing with words of gratitude and requesting permission to reprint individual columns or the entire series in their publications, I felt I should make it available to the Christian community at large. So, pretend that you work for a film studio, a television network, an internet company, or a print media corporation. Or just look over the shoulder of those who do work in media and learn from the timeless, divine principles that have helped them survive. Sooner or later, you'll face your own fiery furnace or be thrown to the lions. Survive and conquer. As you rely on God for deliverance, you will face lions that look much like the one portrayed throughout the printed version of this book. That doleful look is of a hungry beast that, for reasons he does not understand, cannot get his teeth into you or his jaws around you. Something has given him lockjaw. Better, someone has given him lockjaw.